Hello and welcome to tonight's show, and thank you very much for joining us. I must apologize sincerely for the rather late start. It was due to some technical hitches here and there. I sincerely apologize on behalf of the network. Tonight we'll be looking at violence once again. Clearly issues have emanated in the course of the week that has given reason for concern, and indeed it is only fair that we delve into it much more detail than we did before. And so tonight I will be discussing violence as a characteristic feature of the NPP, evidence in the secret tape uncovered by the group known as the Research Advocate Platform, where Anthony Kabu, a member of the NPP, the former youth organizer of the NPP and an aspiring member of parliament, was caught allegedly making very damaging comment, and that has brought some panic within the body politics of Ghana, and as such it is important that we do justice to such a topic. And tonight, to help me deal with this topic, I have been joined in by Prince Derek Ajay, who is the Deputy National Coordinator of the National Youth Authority, and also I will be joining in later on by Ameto Kwame, who is the Deputy Director for Corporate Affairs at the NHIS. Thank you very much, Prince Derek Ajay, for joining me here.
Well, thank you, and good evening to all your listeners and viewers.
Of course. Prince, before we delve into the issue, you work at the National Youth Authority, and I'm sure His Excellency President Mahama, at the time he was a Vice President, made strenuous efforts in trying to admonish the youth of Ghana that it is important that they embrace peace, and not only do that, but they must be seen to be working towards achieving that. I'm sure you have some perspectives on that.
Well, thank you, Ali, and once again, a very hearty good evening to all Ghanaians, particularly the youth of Ghana. Indeed, as you'd rightly said, this document, that is the National Youth Policy of Ghana, was launched by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the 12th of August 2010. Indeed, that's to mark the International Youth Day. He was then Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and then acting as President when His Excellency John Atta Mills was out of the country on holidays.
Of course.
And so I believe that the commitment of the current President, His Excellency John Mahama, to not just this document, but to every letter and indeed the spirit of this document is very much alive. This document embodies everything that the Ghanaian youth should be, and I'm happy to say that this was done in under 1.5 years of this administration coming into being. In fact, for 8 years under the NPP, there were a series of meetings to attempt to have such a document, and it wasn't successful
at all.
At all. In fact, the last time there was a document was in 1999 under Honorable E.T. Mensah, then as Sports Minister.
NDC 1.
NDC 1. In fact, if you look at page 16 of this document, it talks about youth in conflict prevention and peace building. And it indicates, among other things, that peace and security are essential prerequisites for development. So if we want to have one-time health insurance, there must be peace and security. If we want to have free education, there must be peace and security. Whatever we want, good roads, whatever. You cannot have the roads and have a war in this country. So I believe that peace and security are very important. And we indicated, among other things, also that we want to rebrand the Ghanaian youth. We do not like the situation where whenever there's violence in any community, they say it's the youth of X or Y town. And we believe that sometimes if you go in, you realize that the people are maybe 70, 60, 50, and that is not the youth. The youth definition is people who are 15 to 35, and not people who are violent.
According to the youth policy.
Yes, indeed, we have moved even beyond the youth policy, and now we have a revised youth bill. This is hopefully going to become a new act to replace the NRC Decree 241 that set up not only the National Youth Authority, but actually is the legal regime under which the youth operations in this country is supposed to occur. And I think that one of the key tenets of that also is the fact that we have now been able to put the youth in the constitution. If you look at the constitution that has been reviewed,
Okay.
the 1992 constitution did not mention youth even once.
At all.
It mentions children as people below 18. And the National Youth Authority, in this space of time, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and John Evans Atta Mills, has made significant strides in ensuring that the word youth does not remain just a word that is in the negative, but actually a positive. And so it is with great relish that we expect that young people will find themselves in Parliament, so that once the bill comes before the House, hopefully in the next sitting, that it will be passed unanimously and perhaps even improved. So you see a number of young people going into Parliament, and we are very happy to see that. In fact, it is with the same degree of sadness that we realize that people on the other side, that's the NPP, the youth who are going in, which we should have been happy because they're also youth of Ghana, going into Parliament. It saddens our hearts to see that some bad nuts are popping up. And it's not strange, because if you look at antecedents of the NPP...
Indeed, I was coming to that. Perhaps a historical perspective about the tradition of NDC, the NPP, sorry, associated with violence and the consistent attempt on their part to deny that claim and whether it is indeed flying.
Yeah, as for the denials, they'll come. In fact, Cabo has already denied his own voice before the cock could crow.
He issued a statement, right?
Yes, the cock hasn't crowed even once. And I'm sure by the time the cock crows 3 times, he would have denied a few more times. But let's look at Ghana's history and the role of MPP in it. Ghana has moved on a developmental paradigm since the Gold Coast days. And so preceding our independence, you realize that there's been several movements, and even in the communities there have been active groups that were formed. The Tokyo Joes and others were some of the negatives in the Accra area, the Gashimu Fimope and all that, those bomb-throwing days and those heady days. If you trace the roots of those people who formed the NPP, the Northern People's Party, the Tokyo Joe group, and the other ethnic-based groups, they have something in common. That is the violent part associated with it. And the non-developmental agenda, issue also comes in. If you look at when we were seeking independence, and the fact that the NPP, the antecedents, the UP, were able to actually say that we don't want independence now. They didn't stop there. They went to the Queen to beg that don't give us independence at this time. The Ghanaian is not capable of, ruling himself and so on and so forth. But, well, thankfully, that didn't fly. Nkrumah and the progressives won the day, and also with the support of the chiefs and people and the youth. And so if you listen to Nkrumah's independence speech, he gives a lot of credit to the youth, women, and fisher folk, market women, and all that. Then comes the good old people in the NPP, the J.H. Mensahs and others. And in fact, J.H. Mensah also comes for special mention because, if you recall, there was this issue of mercenaries being brought into Ghana.
Indeed.
To try and subvert,
Okay, I want you to hold on. I'll go for a quick commercial break, but when I come back, Prince Derek J will run up with a historical view, and then we'll see to the issue of the recorded tape allegedly having the voice of Anthony Cabo. Stay with me, don't go away, I will be right back. Welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, this is Majority Caucus live on your multi-TV. We've been looking at so far issues of violence and the history of Ghana politics. And before the break, we were looking at the historical antecedent of the NPP with regards to violence. And Prince, I want you to wrap up and then quickly tie it in with the new found leader that symbolizes violence and the history of Ghanaian politics contemporarily, which is Nana Akufo-Addo. I mean, with the order Abidai, we want to see how this thing relates.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, most people remember Kulungogo for just one thing. It's not just a town somewhere in Ghana, but it has a history that has NPP footprints all over it. In fact, a schoolgirl was given a bomb.
That's terrible.
And today, the same people are talking to school children, offering them free bees. You should be very, very worried when the NPP come bearing gifts. Indeed. Because their gifts could be bombs. In any case, it's actually a big bomb because it's going nowhere. If you remember Ahunu Honga also, and the Kumipreku demonstration, and you have the same people trying to rally the youth for one reason or the other. Note that the family of Ahunu Honga have since not seen Nana Akufo-Addo at all. No compensation, no trial, even as Attorney General, the record is clear. Now, go even to his royal family. That is Nana Akufo-Addo's own backyard. Recently, there was banishment of some chiefs, the Achim royals who were banished.
Yes.
Nana Akufo-Addo touts his human rights records, his, being a legal luminary, and so on and so forth. If you look at the U.S. diplomatic cables, it talks about the support that he has of some Achim mafia and Achim businessmen and so on. So one would have expected that at least he would have by now spoken on that issue, which is not in court, by the way.
He's free.
And yet he tries to avoid that. Why is he avoiding that? Because he's not true to the things that he touts. We must be very wary of this man. But this man, Nana Akufo-Addo, now today flag bearer of the NPP, has very notable people around him. And one of them is Mr. or Honorable Ken Nedi Ajipon, Akumpreku, or whatever he calls himself. Now, this man doesn't come up for special mention because he has a radio and TV station. In fact, if you look at the Rwanda situation that they keep promising us if they don't win, the Kigali and so on that they were threatening to visit on us, Afghanistan and so on, some of these things started from radio stations, okay? And so for somebody like this to own a radio and TV station is a big threat to the security of this country. Noting the fact that he said various things. I am a Ghana. I'm a Ghana. And he says that all Ghanaians should be murdered. In fact, I recall.
That puts you in danger.
Oh, well, I don't think he will dare do anything. But the fact that he's threatened not just Ghanaians, but he's threatened Ghanaians and others.
Yeah.
And also tried to annex his views to the Ashantis or Akans. He is not an Ashanti, I believe. Yet he thinks Akans or Ashantis, for that matter, are quote-unquote so stupid that they should attack Ghanaians and others, forgetting that there's been intermarriage. In fact, one of the very good things that the first president, the founder of the Republic of Ghana, that they do not wish to give the title to, that's Dr. Kwame Nkrumah tried to do with secondary education, was boarding. To ensure that we had an integration of the Ghanaian fabric, that the rich kente cloth that Ghana has as its major symbol embodies the Ghans, the Evers, the Northerners, and so on. The different colors represents the different
one
people.
Environment.
Exactly. And so our destiny is linked together as, one people, one destiny. And if you note also, the kind of peaceful attribute that was given to Professor Mills was not by accident. The man said, lived everything that he said. And today, John Mahama, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, also comes with the same aura. He is not only humble, but he's a peaceful person.
So, man.
Now, if you look at that against the other candidates, that's Nana Akufo-Addo, he pretends to be that, just like he pretended to be boarding vehicles when he was using motorcades before, trotro and all that, eating ampesi, sachet water, drinking, yet having bottled mineral just next door. And I entreat listeners and viewers to go out there in the streets and look out for the free SHS billboards that he has. You realize that there's even deceit there. The pictures over there of the young people, it's a superimposition of one set of people on the left and carried on to the right. How can one person be in two places? This is an obvious lie. These people play all kinds of games. It's not just the violence, but they are not just good at violence, they are good at torture, mental deceit and torture.
Deceiving the good people of Ghana.
So I'm not surprised at all that they deny some of the things that are obvious. Look at Kennedy Ajipon. He says murder these people and so on. And then he claims he didn't say any of these things, when indeed his voice has been heard.
And the records shows.
Enter Atachia, another successor to Nana Akufo-Addo's seat in Abuakwa South. He comes as somebody who is a respected lawyer, brother-in-law to the Chief Justice, and so on and so forth, a beneficiary of lands in Accra and so on. This man is on tape with others conspiring to bring dead bodies. The man is conspiring to undermine the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, trying to steal the verdict of the people in an election, the highest crime that one can fathom. And then, when he is caught on tape, he admits in an interview, Kwesi Pratt interviewed him, he says it is his voice. The sad thing, however, is that what has happened to this man?
Yes, I was going to pose that question.
But I'll get to that. I'll get to that because today I listened to the National Security Coordinator, I listened to the IGP's representative, and I listened to the EC and other major stakeholders who are playing a part in, the security, peace, and so on, leading to this election. And I listened to it on this network, that's multimedia, Joy FM, carried it live. So there's some good news, at least, that Ghana is still working, except that Ghana is not meeting frontally and forcefully enough with these people.
Okay.
But that is the miscalculation that they have made. They have assumed that the system would meet them frontally so they can plunge this country into chaos. And so that is where you can take the voices of Cabo and the plots that are in there. We'll come to the plot directly. But I just want us to look at the mindset of the young people in the MPP. Samia Uku says, what? Use the Womafun, the pestle. If you can't buy a gun, if you can't license a gun.
Obviously, you don't need a license for that.
Exactly. You listen to Titus Glover and others. You know, there's a certain trend. You listen to the older ones, that's the Nyahu Tamaklos. He also says guerrilla warfare and this and that. Peter McMenu, the former chairman, also says they are bringing guns, knives, cajoles, and so on. And then, after all the people have spoken, the clown, Sir John, also enters with a lot of comic but serious, you know, what do you call it? Threats are issued. Subtle, veiled threats, but they are still there. And then Anthony Cabo. After the long list, and I can't go through the whole list because we don't have all day, he says, among other things, and for me, the danger in what he says is not only the threat that he poses to the country via the tape recording, but he actually tribalizes the issues. He brings in the Evers and calls the Igbe boys, the Igbe bad boys. You see, he goes for the Libyans, war-torn areas. He goes for the Liberians.
Liberia.
He goes for people who have had war situations. You know, when you have killed before,
they will not hesitate to do it again.
Exactly. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And the derogatory manner in which they deal with the other people who are supposed to be pro-NDC, supposedly. Yeah. Pro-NDC. But I believe that 90% of Ghanaians are pro-NDC.
Of course.
In fact, even the NPP, given a very good opportunity, most of them would have voted for NDC. You know why? Try Peter Lajete when he was asking for to be speaker and they denied him. They had to force and look at the votes of the people because they didn't trust themselves to do the right thing.
They vote for their own party.
So they forced them to vote against Peter Lajete. That is what will happen if the NPP people are given the opportunity. They will vote for John Mahama because they know that he's working for Ghana.
Indeed.
But this man wants to not just divide us along tribal lines, not to murder Igbe soldiers, quote unquote, and threaten the police establishment, the CID boss, the Electoral Commission, and so on. He now tries to look at the blocks and attack regions. So there's a mention of some regions that they claim to be their strongholds: Ashanti, Western, Eastern, and he actually talks about the 5 Akan regions. But the truth does not support that. The truth of the matter is that they did not win in Central region. They did not win in Eastern region. They narrowly lost in even Eastern.
So that part of the
it's only
state
Ashanti
clearly
region
cannot be true.
But even that, the Ashanti region, I can tell you that they did not win Ashanti region. You know why? Because
I want to know the reason. But before you do that, I'll take my second break. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Sorry, stay with me. Welcome back to the show. This is Majority Caucus live on your multi-TV. And I almost said that you shouldn't stay with me. Ignore that comment. You actually must not change your channel. This is the best channel you could have at the moment. Prince Derek.
Yes.
We were looking at the contents, the region. I mean,
yeah.
the region, in terms of the votes.
The Yena Kamfo regions, the Yena Kamfo regions that Nana Akufo-Addo would want to believe. In fact, the NPP want to appropriate a section of Ghanaians as theirs because they've been very tribal, and they try to appropriate their camps, so the Yena Kamfo thing. And so in this particular recording, you can hear Cabo actually taking inspiration from Nana Akufo-Addo when he says the 5 Akan regions and so on.
Yes.
To bring the Akan, thing. And it's not too far from what their party chairman, Jake Obechebi, I said he's Jacob, right? Jacob Obechebi Lamte,
yes. Jacob, except that he's not enthused when you address him as such.
Oh, like that?
The reason known to himself, I believe.
Okay. So I'll call him Jake then, just to humor him a little bit. Now, but Jake Obechebi Lamte also says that Akans are violent people. And actually, he does not say that they are only a violent people, but he thinks that they must be violent. Because how dare they sit down and allow their brothers across the border in Cote d'Ivoire to be violent, and the Ghanaian Akans will not be violent. They must be violent. That is the NPP chairman saying this.
Especially if they have been denied their birthright.
Their birthright. Now, you see, And I say that it is not true that the NPP even won in the Ashanti region. Because listen to Maxwell Kofi Juma, listen to Kennedy Ejapon. They brag about what they did in the 2000 election, which we already know anyway. They used their incumbency to steal the election. They had ballots that were printed or marked. They had ballot papers, access to ballot papers. They had access to ballot boxes and guns. You listen to their organizer, what's his name? The name will come in due course. He talks about action troopers, you know, and Lord Comey, that's it.
Yeah, Lord Comey.
You know, and how they can steal ballot. But he's the director of operations for Nana Akufo-Addo. I mean, Nana Akufo-Addo has recruited his people carefully.
Similar functions.
Exactly. So the action troopers will be deployed to give ground support and close air, you know, support for the Cabo boys.
It sounds like a war.
No, but they talk about guerrilla war. He talks about the war. The chief warmonger is a strategist in chief. Actually, I understand when Cabo and the thugs invaded the multimedia studios, the Asempa FM, and kicked
very unfortunate episode.
And other guests out and wanted to actually lynch people. He was given a call and congratulated. And I think that Nana Akufo-Addo must start speaking personally to some of these things, because the reason is his spokespersons don't seem to know the things he's talking about. If you look at the free SHS, for example, when he says something, Jambafo says, no, it's not true.
Okay.
Then Nana Kumia says he doesn't know. So Nana Akufo-Addo must start speaking for himself. He doesn't need any linguist in this matter.
There is inconsistencies and lack of clarification.
Exactly. And you see, for me, this Aigbe brigadiers that must be killed, courtesy the tape.
That's very frightening.
It is serious. You see, the NPP has traditionally lost in the barracks anyway. They've lost in the police barracks. They've lost, so they have nothing to lose. Now, they know that they don't win in these Ashanti, Eastern, that I can quote unquote 5 regions that they are referring, that Yanakan 4 regions. But because they stole, they want a certain belief, a certain aura, so they can still force that situation to arise. I believe that these Akan people are very discerning, they are very wise people. They would not only not vote for the NPP, but they would not condone violence. So they would not heed to the calls of Kennedy Ejapon. They would not heed to the call of Nana Akufo-Addo. They would not heed to the call of Anthony Cabo and all that. And so I believe that the national security has made that calculation and not wanting to, you know, be forceful in the matter. But it means also that certainly they are doing their own checks. I'm sure people will be picked up. But when people are picked up, we hope that then people will not rally people like they did for Kennedy Ejapon.
On that, the Research and Advocate platform have lodged a formal complaint at the police headquarters earlier this afternoon. And I'm sure in no time, I'm sure the police will do what is right. But in all this, can we really trust Akufo-Addo, as he has been known lately to be championing the call for peace? Obviously, this gives a negative verdict on his, you know, call for peace. We need peace, we need peace.
But can you
it
really
looks like
trust,
he's not walking his talk.
Can you really trust Akufo-Addo? When he says, for example, no court in one breath, he's talking about judgment debts which are in court in the next breath. Yet this same man is embroiled in judgment debts himself. And so I'm not surprised that Onyedum talks about the evil and makes reference to the kind of things that he does in the quiet and talks about, and actually, you know, says that some people are. And so it is not surprising again that when the former president said evil old dwarf, straight away he knew it was him. You know that joke about the ugliest animal has to carry the load, and then straight away the adun, that's the monkey. Oh, adun. I mean,
no, I've been told the dwarf, the version in Ghana is
Adope.
Okay.
Amut, he's from Amut. Yeah. Anyway, that's on the lighter side. But the bottom line is that he's been pretending to be a peaceful man. He's a president that Ghana will never have. So he's trying to be commander-in-chief of this, you know, Cabo, you know, mercenary forces, the Nyahu Tamaklo. I mean, he's trying to play president for now. I mean, he has only up to December 7th to see his smoothness level. And I'm sure Ghanaians know what is good, and Ghanaians would, you know, ease him out. I think that Ghana will be much safer after he's been eased out. And I'm happy that the systems are not just working, but institutions are being built. Now, if you look at what the Research and Advocacy platform have done, they have not called on people to rise up and lynch or do anything. They have actually gone to the police. The police will do the right thing. The BNI will do the right thing. Exactly. Ghana is working under John Mahama. It was working under John Mills.
Does the government feel threatened about this secret tape recordings?
No, I've listened to a number of young people express their disappointment because they are no longer shocked at anything NPP throws at them because they've been throwing bombs for as long as one can remember, even with school children and so on. And they've told all the kinds of lies that you can expect. And Nana Akufo-Addo is actually at the heart of this. His all die be die seems to be the battle cry. And if you listen to other tapes of Awuku and Co., it talks about all die be die. If you listen to everybody, all die be die. And then Esla Usu wears the T-shirt. She's not only wearing the T-shirt, she's insulted. You see, their tactics does not just go with the violence. They do torture, mental torture. They do abusive torture. Look at what they did to the former president, Mills. May his soul rest in peace. What didn't they say about him? What torture didn't they put this man's, entire being in? Even in death, what didn't they do? You see, these are a very wicked, evil set of people. And I think that we must exorcise the Aziza. You see,
how do you propose to do that?
You know, the Mutia father is Aziza.
Okay.
And that is what these people are beginning to become. They are growing into something else. But you see, Ghanaians have a choice.
Indeed.
And on the 7th of December, they will take their thumbs towards heaven and put it at the very top and ease this whole thing out. In any case, at that point, they would have retired the warmonger, the all die be die man. He would never have another chance. At least NPP would not feel him again. Age is not on his side. He's old. He's not evil. He's old. And he's not a dwarf, but he has all the attributes of, you know what it is. So the point is, if Ghanaians have a choice, you don't bring things to a head. And I think that is what national security and others are doing. But I think also that people must begin to see also that the systems are clamping down. And I believe that the Constitution also confers extraordinary powers on the people of Ghana to do what is right. And I think that the Ghanaians will do what is right.
Yeah. On that point, I have heard or received many worrying complaint, text messages, phone calls.
Threats.
Hey, what is this? These MPP people, is this true? I said, well, they should allow the security agents to do due diligence to the tape. But for the time being, people of Ghana need some assurance. They need some guarantee that indeed the government has put the necessary mechanisms in place to take care of some of these, activities being planned in the dark. I need to know what the government is doing to avert some of these things.
That's why I said this morning before noon, it was very refreshing to listen to Joy FM, multimedia for that matter, and live, coverage of the pre-election peace and security, situation. In fact, it doesn't stop there. This weekend, there are a number of activities on the youth front. In the Western region, there will be a walk for and a rally, youth rally for peace in the Western region, and I entreat all peace-loving Ghanaians to come and participate. There's also another event in Kumasi, KNUST, and that is being organized by the National Youth Parliament. Actually, it is the National Youth Parliament is a creation of the Parliament of Ghana in partnership with the National Youth Authority.
I used to be in University of Ghana Parliament.
That's right. Yeah. And the Students' Parliament House is being expanded. So all the campus Parliament houses will be there. They've invited the teens, the TESCONs, the test charts, and all the new... Yes, this weekend, Saturday. It's going to happen at the Independence Hall. They've invited the Peace Council, and I hope the Peace Council will honor... In fact, I take this opportunity to look straight in the camera and say to the Peace Council that this is the time to show leadership. The chiefs, the religious bodies, in fact, all the people who matter in the issues of peace, the media, should make sure that this gets maximum coverage. The reason being that every time there's chaos, it is in the youth sector. At least that's what they want us to do.
Are you saying that the Peace Council has not been functioning as expected?
Well, today I listened to the thing, and I'm not convinced yet. But I want that now that young people themselves, from diverse backgrounds, multi-party platform has been created, that everybody will see this as a not government operation. Not
ordinary Ghanaians.
Exactly. Young people have organized
NUCs,
JNUCs, etc.
When we come back, you would let me know, together with my viewers, the effects of such threats coming from party activists such as Anthony Cabo,
I mean,
allegedly, and of course, and Nana Akufo-Addo, spearheaded by Nana Akufo-Addo.
Exactly.
I take my final break. I'll be right back. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. This is Majority Caucus live on your multi-TV. Before I continue with my discussion in studio, I now invite you though to join in the discussion on 0302 211-70124. Feel free to call. Let your views be known. I advise that you be an active viewer and not a passive one. Share your views. Yeah, Prince.
Yeah, I think the terms are going to do a lot of justice to Ghana.
Before you continue, let me take Zion from Zion.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. Good evening for the wonderful work that you people are doing. The topic is very good for us this evening, especially at this period of the election period. Violence is very good topic for us. And I will congratulate you for choosing that topic especially. But let me say one thing about both parties, NPP and NDC. You know, NDC has a tradition. The NPP has a tradition. The NDC tradition is traced until 31st December 1981 or so, the overthrow of Dr. Helene Lemang. Means the NDC is a violent party. It started as a violent. The overthrow of Dr. Helene Lemang, a son of the Upper West region.
Okay, you think coup is the perfect description?
Excuse me.
Zion. Zion.
Please, were you there?
Zion,
you
speak.
Look at the video. The gentleman who was shooting, pow, and everybody listened to him and saw him live. But anyway, I'm sorry. You people today, you have disappointed me completely. You are not serious at all.
Okay, thank you very much, Zion. I have Jonathan from Bongo.
Yes.
Hello, Jonathan.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. The people of Bongo Bonaba are watching this program. We are gathered in container, the usual place, everybody watching. And thank to Madam Diana Buya, who has bought multi-TV for us to always watch you this program. In fact, this evening is a nice topic you people have chosen, violence, especially this crucial hour of elections. But my dear brother, you see, you're a youth. If you want to look at the NDC today, it's like the NDC, they are using the youth to incite violence. I don't understand why Felix Kwachi, who happens to be a youth, will come out and organize a press conference like that and attack a fellow colleague youth. This morning, like this, I was hearing him, he was saying that Anthony Cabo is a young guy. Where will he get money to finance those missionary and other things? And my question is that, where will Felix Kwachi get money to buy the Highlander he's driving? And apart from that, my dear brother,
Jonathan.
I'm sorry.
Indeed, you have no evidence to support your claim. Indeed, okay. Felix is not driving a Highlander. Thank you very much for your views. I have Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, Ben.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening to your listeners. In fact, you are doing a very great job for this nation. I must commend you for your great job now. The MPP, we know them. We know where they are coming from. Their slogan, all that we die, is what they are made of. But the electorate should know that the free HSS singing they are singing cannot work. Recently, when I went to get admission for my child, I paid over 500 Ghana. And the calculation they are making, if you go by it, it's about 338 Ghana.
Is that SHS?
Yes. SHS. Where are they going to get a balance from? They should tell us the truth. They should not be blowing their horn and telling us that what they don't know.
Okay.
They should make their calculations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ben, for your views. I have Robert. Robert.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, Robert. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I would like to contribute to your program.
Please go ahead.
All right. But you think your topic is about violence, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I thought you also talk about your children. Why did you need to talk about it? You see, That's how NDC, that's how you are. Always business. You can do anything.
Robert,
in your own party, you have so many
Robert,
I'm Robert.
Robert.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
Hello, Agudu. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Agudu, you're on air.
Okay. Hello, good evening, and good evening to everybody who is listening.
And watching.
The topic that you have introduced, I think, is something that will help we, the youth, in order to learn a lesson so that politicians will not use us to gain political interest, especially the MPP. I think the agenda of the NDC is to maintain peace. Without peace, the nation cannot move forward in developing. So the NDC agenda is to maintain peace so that the president can deliver the manifesto promises that the NDC has given to the people of Ghana.
Okay, thank you very much for your views. I have Dr. Yabua on the line. Hello, doctor.
Yeah, good evening, my good brother.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, with your good progress that you are on this evening. But let me go ahead and explain one or two things for your panelists or your viewers.
Briefly.
You see, that all that people have said, just the slogan for NDC. People have been hearing it very well. The whole country, NDC people are attacking NPP people. Means that the thing has turned opposite. And their flag of NPP is going around looking for what? Peace. And once the discussion always be in the media house, talk anyhow against our youth. Is it the best way? Why you want peace? You are tested in the fear post and see. So you are afraid or you didn't like to go to operation. And you are always
Dog.
Yeah, Paddy.
Do you not think that going to the police is the right thing to do? You think that is talking just anyhow?
Yeah, let me tell you why I say anyhow. You see, Caucus is my colleague. You don't know me very well, but he knows me. You know, when you want to talk to a public, you don't give direct attack to you.
Okay.
When you talk, you're free to return.
Dog, unfortunately,
it will bring a conflict.
Dog, unfortunately, I have very limited time. I'm sure that on Thursday you would have another opportunity to air your views. Thank you very much for your contribution. Prince Derek.
Yes.
In conclusion, you were telling me about the effect of some of these reckless utterances. Yeah, and perhaps you may want to even react to some of the contributions or the comment made by the callers.
Well, I believe Ghanaians are discerning, so as for the callers, I would want to respect their opinion. In fact, that is how governance is. You must listen to people, you must respect their views, even if they are divergent. And that is what exactly the NDC is doing. It is not that NDC is weak. Weakness is not necessarily being silent to someone who is throwing a punch. It's actually a strength to take on the punches and continue developing. The thing is to develop the country. We are already working. We are staying focused. MPP is causing all the distraction by all the negative things that they're throwing at us. If they take maybe judgment deaths to try and distract us, we only go and find out after the light shedding campaign that the Ministry of Information did. Okujeto exposed Nana Akufo-Addo as the biggest threat to Ghana when judgment debts are concerned. The Great Cape judgment debt that he begged the Minister of Finance to pay and actually copied Martin Amidu, the great whistleblower. I mean, every turn you take, you realize that the MPP, so we don't want to be distracted. And I believe that Ghanaians are discerning. Their thumbs will be the biggest bullet that will be used on December 7th. So that the ballots will determine, not the bullets of Anthony Kabu, not the bullets of Nana Akufo-Addo's or David, not the bullets of Eslawusu. In fact, what is going to happen also is that even though President John Dramani Mahama is on position number 1 and people will vote for him in order for us to continue the work that he's already doing.
I have been told the IAA debate, he also had the first slot, position number 1.
Yes, I don't want to get into the game of numbers, but the bottom line is that it is a lot easier to see the good thing and not pass it by. So the number 1 slot at the top, bam, going to green, then you vote and go. You take the MP one, going to green, then
clearly,
you go.
on that note, I would like to thank you and celebrate Christmas, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you very much for joining me tonight for this wonderful discussion. On that note, viewers, we would draw curtains on tonight's edition of Majority Caucus, but make a date with me on Thursday, same place, same time, when I come your way with another wonderful and interesting discussion on Majority Caucus. Till then, stay blessed and be good.